we set the goal. All right, we are live. Live. I realized I hadn't been using this this scene for anything. So here we are, using it. Make sure this one is live. Everybody can hear me? Yeah? Everything Gucci on the YouTube Twitch front? Yep, sweet. Dean Deer, what's up? There was a show last week. Rest in peace. Sent Jammin for 200 joules. I don't know what that means, but thank you so much for sending Jammin for 200 joules. I think we are live everywhere now. If you guys didn't see, they are giving out the Age of Umbra campaign frame for free on Beacon, which means not free, but like free, you know. Excited for the finale? Yeah, they're in their little teaser thing today. The marketing for it, they were like, there's probably going to be, I think they said danger or death and tears, which is to be expected, I think. So. I think that is to be expected. I think that we will probably have another death or two. And some really tough moments. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a full-on TPK. Yeah. Like Brandon just said, or after I said that TPK tonight, I would not be at all surprised, just like what you said, Dragon Drake, without Mercy there to absorb a bunch of hits, like what exactly do they do in that situation, Oh, I didn't post that I was live. Hold on. Live noties. Umbra finale. Copy. All right. Pull this over here. There we go. Are we still C4? 2. This is the last week of Age of Umbra. Next week they take it off, and the week after that we get campaign 4. I did just start my live. Yep, I did just start my live. Maybe Soul Survivor. Yeah, I mean isn't that basically what they did last time from the first one? It was 1 or 2 people survived out of everybody. So worth binging to you. If you're into dark, dangerous, short stories, yeah, why not? But ultimately, I mean, everybody has different tastes, so it'll be up to what you like, 2 survived. Okay, gamer girl. Yeah, that's what I thought. Do you read it all? I have. I fall in and out of reading, so you can see like I've read all these books down here. That's the Faithful and the Fallen series. And then they did like a sequel series of Blood and Bone. And then I also have the Inheritance cycle here with like Aragon, Eldest Brissinger, which I read as like a teenager. All the Lord of the Rings down there, plus like the Hobbit, the Study series, Poison Study, Magic Study, Fire Study. I've read all that stuff. What's up, AKA? Tournament hide and shell and make it. That's true. Just go fully into the shell and just chill out there. Hey, what's up, David? That says get them likes in early, folks. That's right. Go ahead and click that thumbs up button. I'm gonna post on Instagram that we're live with this as well. One second. Let's do this. All right. I heard Critical Role is doing another live campaign. Yes, that is happening. It's going to be run by Chris Perkins. We don't know who else is in it, but there is going to be a live streamed campaign. Hold on, I'm trying to get a post in my story. Yo, what's up, Sherry? Through Discord or YouTube. I don't think I sent one out last night for that one. Hey, do you want me to like this? I do. Yeah, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Or like it. Oh, Mia, you're on the vertical stream. Okay, for those of you on the vertical stream, just meaning I'm in the 9x16, I do have pinned in the chat there, I do have the link to the full screen one. Do you prefer the live or non-live? I prefer live. Is that Critical Role the Chris Perkins thing or D&D in general? Wait, what? Kagwama keeps trying to talk through it instead of tanking for whatever reason. I mean, that's just who they are, I think. Age of Umbra finale. All right. Story posted. Now we're focusing up. Yo, what's up, Jay? What's up, Bull? Understeer. Yes. I mean, he works for Critical Role now, right? He got hired to Daggerheart. And so he's going to Dungeon Master or Game Master a Daggerheart campaign. They haven't released any more details than that, really. We just know that there's going to be a Daggerheart campaign. Based in... I can't remember the name of the campaign setting now. But one of the campaign settings to do with dragons. And he's going to do that. It's going to be a mini series. It's going to be a live stream, not a like pre-recorded thing. But we don't know exactly when or who the cast is and stuff like that. But they did make it sound like it wouldn't be like the OG cast. It might be another thing where you have 1 or 2 cast members, and then kind of like this. You have Matt, you have Laura, but then everybody else is not part of the original cast. Do you think Campaign 4 will lose viewers when they return or keep the same numbers? My guess is that they will keep the same numbers, but it won't be the same people. if you're talking about during the actual live broadcasts, I don't know, over time, it's hard to dictate like, oh, well, 5 weeks after an episode airs, will it be the same as 5 weeks after an episode aired 4 months ago? But I think because some people are going to have caught up and be able to watch live now, and that will kind of counteract the people who will have fallen off because they took an 8-week break. But that's all, pure speculation. Is the new campaign a long-term thing or short? It's a mini series, so it would be short-term. We don't know how long. Probably 6 to 12, 8 maybe. What's up, Tahoe? Cover can be used for everything. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Like I'm not arguing that it's like a great idea. It's just who their character is all I was saying. Whether or not it's great or not, it's just who they seem to be. Forgot it's all CR now. Yeah. Alejandro says, honest opinion, I thought Abu was kind of intrusive with the spotlight during the campaign, but he really did a great performance during the campaign. Great use of Blaze of Glory, 7 out of 7. I think he's trying to play a social character in a combat survival horror game, and it's not working. I mean, they are... It's not... So it depends on... You would have to define what is working, right? Like, what does working mean to you? Yeah. Info, no problem yet is if I was the one who answered that. They should get you into play a couple influencers put in recently. Yeah, but they're massive compared to me. Right? Across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, I have like math. Maybe like 82,000 followers, and you're talking about like they bring in somebody who has 650,000 on one platform, another however many 100,000 on another platform, right? Like I would never be able to jump in there unless I grew dramatically. At least I think so. I mean, maybe they've had some people who don't have as many followers, but when I think of it, I'm like, no, these are like bigger people. They're either proven actors or voice actors, or they and like in the actual play space, or again, video games, whatever, or they are massive internet personalities. Where Dragon campaign is limited series. Yep. Do you think with the break and people hearing feedback on their characters, anyone will change? Well, I don't know. Like, yeah, some of it is a break for them, but some of it also isn't. I don't know, because some of them don't listen or watch or do whatever, right? Like, I know Louise doesn't pay attention to what people are saying about the campaign, and I think that's okay. So I don't know. I don't know if some of these other people pay attention and like. I know that they'll look at art. I know that things will get shared. I know Louise, it's funny. He told me when we were hanging out at Gen Con that it was either 2 or 3. I think it was 3 people sent him my video talking about him before our interview. When I talked about like he has this great role play, but he's also very good at actually playing D&D in terms of like the rules and the like understanding and character builds. He apparently got sent that video several times. What's that drink? Coke or mug? Both. This is my Paladin mug. I reserve the right to smite you, and this has decaf coffee in it. Yo, what's up, Stephanie? And then I also have Coca-Cola Cherry Float Zero Sugar. Sponsor me today. That's what I'm rocking. I mean, how many followers? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Zach dwarfs me. On TikTok, I think I have 38,000 on TikTok, and he has like 650,000. That might have been his Instagram. He might have more on TikTok. But that's what I mean, is like he's just a much larger figure in the space. Yeah, so he has 525,900. So let's say 526,000 on TikTok. And he has also, he owes me a interview. He has 441,000 on Instagram, right? So he's already basically at 1 million across 2 platforms, and I'm less than 100,000 across every platform I have. So he's done a ton of different stuff. He's partnered and collabed with like Magic the Gathering people, D&D stuff, all that. So yeah. um Yo, what's up, Ophidian? I think subclass will be. Oh, I have no idea, Steven. I'm not that familiar with monk subclasses, if I'm being honest. I've never played one. I've not jived with the story at all, but I'm trying to trying each week. Hey, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. There's a cherry float flavor, yeah. Cherry float Coke Zero. If you were invited to Campaign 4 as a guest, what type of character would you play? I would probably play a spy. I'd be on the enemy team. I'd be a plant because I think they need one of those in the party. So I would be a plant. Not like a green, like a growing plant, but like one of the houses or a different faction involved, or somebody would have placed me into the magpies. No, he skipped me. Oh no. Did I? I just might not have gotten to it yet. Yeah, so I jumped down and did the cherry float flavor, but then I went back up and kept where I was. Float from just cherry, I have no idea. I think it shows an ice cream or like whipped cream or something on there, but yeah, it's not that different. Regarding D&D official campaign, like how it was edited, but now I'm starting to like the show. I think the performance of the whole group is really coming along. I don't mind. Yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed Alejandra. I don't know if you know this, but I've been doing watch parties for it. So like we watch it live. I was granted access that I can actually I sit here and watch it with you guys. I swap to a scene, and we watch it together. And I've really enjoyed it, and I think they've just progressively or they've been progressing, and it's just gotten better and better and better. So I'm with you on that. I was thinking Mystic Monk too, but I don't think the book will have released by the time Travis makes his new character. No way they don't. I mean, they may or may not for a D&D book. I mean, I have the book. Have I told you guys that? I'm pretty sure I bragged about that, right? Hold on. I got Arcana Unleashed already, and I also have the Arcana Unleashed Deadfall alt cover, and then I should have the other ones going to this as well, but yeah. Also has credits for behind the scenes in Hollywood. Oh, I don't know anything about that. Rid of the Weird Dragon kind of sounds like Never After from Dimension 20. D20 Twilight campaign looks fun. I guess too would play each character before they announced it, and I got 4 out of 6. Nice. With the chat, it's fun. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. When will you do a pre-show for Dimension 20? I don't have Dropout. Also, I mean, if it was successful, I would probably go for it. I don't know if I could do a watch party. Yeah, probably not. But a pre-show, I don't know. Also, when do they drop? Isn't it at the same time that I'm doing the other thing already? So I don't know. It would just I don't know if that will eventually be a thing or not. Let me just say that. But it would also just depend on like time and all that jazz. Yeah, as does the watch parties for Dungeon Masters. A new character probably already exists, right? They make episodes months before the release, don't they? Yeah, I mean, if we assume that they've already recorded like at least the first set of episodes that for when they come back, yeah. He probably has already done his thing, unless it's like he's in the last group or something like that. Because of the way that their campaign is set up, where they'll go like 7 episodes just following one group and the 7 episodes following just another group. Like, imagine that he does end up coming back with Thaisha. That means that we may not see him for 14 episodes. Like, he may just not be present because his new character is in the 3rd group. So we won't see him, right? That is a possibility. It is a possibility that we don't see him for 14 episodes or 12 or whatever. Isn't this a new season, only 6 or 8 episodes? Yeah, I do think so. I also think the crowd for Dimension 20 is just very different. I feel like with the way, because does Dimension 20 like air on a weekly basis? Yeah, they do. They do. Never mind. I was about to say, like, or is it all uploaded at once? But they air it. I don't know. I don't know if doing pre-shows for other actual plays would be as successful as the Critical Role one is when it's in session, right? Clearly, when it's not that much, like, nor if we were still in campaign 4 regular right now, we'd have, probably be approaching 100 right now. And then we'd gravitate towards maybe 200 by the time we were within like 30 minutes of showtime. If we hit 70 tonight, I'll be surprised. And this is probably about as much as I would expect it to be if I did a watch party for a different actual play. Is a much smaller group. Yeah. It's pretty cheap, $6.99 a month. That's on the pricier end of actual play subs though, right? Not that there's a ton, but I mean, that's what, $1 more than Beacon is. Also, if anybody's been thinking about getting Beacon or wants to get it for the return of campaign 4, you can use code Bring a Party, capital B, capital A, capital P, and you can get 1 month free. Anybody who pays month to month and knows that they'll have it for the upcoming year, you can get 20% off if you swap to an annual sub. I don't remember the code, but if you guys want to know it, I will tell you. I'll look it up and tell you. Need wider nets, not smaller. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to do a lot and I want to cover these things and I want to have more knowledge of these things, but it's wild because I know Dimension 20 is incredibly popular and yet it doesn't feel like it has the same weight around the internet in terms of fandom. Like, I don't know if fandom's the right word, but like active fan. Like, I feel like Critical Role is such an active base. Like, they crave more and they look for more. They do more. Yo, what's up, Unethical? Greetings from Ricardo, who finally made it to C4. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I don't know that others have that. Again, it could just be that I'm like on the outside looking in, but I feel like they don't have that. I also stand by the fact that Critical Role Twitter is the worst Critical Role space. Critical Role Reddit is better than Critical Role Twitter, and I will die on that hill. Critical Role Twitter is the worst Critical Role space. I'm pretty sure most of the people who post on Twitter regarding Critical Role are just trying to start arguments. On the Discord later? Yeah, I can do that. It was in the their email, I think, about the thing. I know it's also here on Beacon. Okay, it's your party 20. I will post it in the Critical Role channel. Gets you 20% off Beacon if you swap to a yearly sub instead of monthly. There you go. Which Twitter? X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. The code is in there though. All the YouTube content for D20 is nothing but clips, no recaps and other stuff. Yeah, well, one, again, I don't know enough about it. So my mind goes to a couple of questions. Is it as story heavy, complicated that it needs recaps? Like Critical Role might need recaps. Are the episodes long enough to warrant recaps, right? Like that's the other thing. I'm not doing them for Dungeon Masters. One, because the episodes are so short. And two, because it's edited to flow so well that like it's not hard to follow, right? You don't really leave a Dungeon Masters episode going like, whoa, that was, I don't know where we're at or what happened, right? So like there has to be a need for that sort of stuff. Content like was here, and that yeah, that's valid. Yet it is, yeah. The paywall thing that you said, and just like David said, it's because subscription. Yeah. Yo, what's up, P-Wog? The cast rotates on D20 more too. There's the Intrepid Heroes, but then other groups, so it's harder to gain the family feeling like CR. Also, D20's campaigns are shorter. Yeah, so shorter campaigns, shorter episodes, all that sort of stuff makes it a little bit harder, I think, to have a lot of that shoulder content, tertiary content, whatever word you'd like to use to describe things like recaps and, you know, the like. But I mean, I would love there to be more stuff that I could do that with and expand into. Brennan normally does recaps like at the start of each episode. Yeah, I mean that happens in Critical Role too, right? There's a section before they dive in where he just kind of does like a brief recap of what led them into this episode, which I do in my own home games, right? I talk about what happened last session and all that sort of jazz. Yeah, you know, there are plenty of things where the content idea is there, but the interest is not. And I'm not sure there would be enough interest for like a recap of certain things, right? Dungeon Masters doesn't need them. Age of Umbra didn't have enough interest, right? That's why I did 2 recaps and stopped. You know, it took like 2.5 weeks to get 1,000 views on the second Age of Umbra recap. So there just wasn't enough interest in that. And again, also not complicated, right? So it was like you're recapping something that most people who watched it probably don't need it. You know, like there's not a direct need that you are fulfilling, which I think is important. With any sort of content, right? You have to ask yourself, like, what is it you're giving? Hope Beacon for Fire TV Roku goes well. Yeah. Which I'm excited for because I have a Roku in my room. So I need to look it up and download the thing. I haven't yet. I'll definitely get it for campaign once campaign 4 is back. I'm somewhat enjoying the interlude, but I'm looking forward to the commencing of storytelling. I am not, Morgoth, but again, I come from a different place of June was my best month ever on YouTube. And then they concluded and went on an 8-week break and it crashed. So in terms of content, I would love for campaign 4 to return. But it also taught me that I need to diversify. So not just on YouTube, but just with content in general and things like that. So so, you know, is it cool to not have to like do a recap of a 5-hour or 6-hour episode every week for like a week or two? Yeah, it's nice to not have to do that for a week or two, but after that it's like, all right, give it back. It's more comedy based, but the Intrepid Heroes are funny, but they do have great campaigns. Yeah, again, entertainment wise, you know, there's no doubt. People talk about how entertaining Dimension 20 is all the time. Like it's great for that. It's a bunch of like comedy improv folks. It's going to be fantastic. I'm looking for a good lore video for the upcoming D&D books. Greyhawk, Dark Sun episodes I've watched. Oh, wait. Skipped. Anyone know of good lore videos? I don't. Personally. With the next chapter? Yeah. I'm with you on that. City Council of Darkness finale is probably the single most bizarre episode I've watched. Really? That's quite the achievement. Steven says, I'd like to see Travis as a multi-class druid monk member of the old path and meet up with Thaisha. It's completely possible he comes back with Thaisha. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me if he I think that would also give him the most amount of time off. Because my guess is that she's going to be the second or third group if she actually does have like a thing. I don't think they're going to follow her alone for, 7 weeks or something. I think we're going to get like an episode maybe, or half an episode, or just some cold opens for her story to get handled. But I love how dedicated some of you are to actual plays in general, right? Like, I think that's super cool that some of you watch all of it. Like, you watch all the Dimension 20 things, you watch all the Critical Role things. Some of you even watch Dungeon Masters, and some of you watch other stuff that I don't even know about when it comes to that. There was someone who does Greyhawk lore vids, but I can't remember the channel. Quick search might fix that, though. I have a ton of free time. Clearly, David. I suspect they brought her in to knock out all her cold opens before coming back later for her story. Yeah, it's possible. Yo, what's up, Better Sans? Shows will I work and do laundry and dishes? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. If you have the opportunity to work and just kind of have those things on in the background, hey, I'm making money. All sporty creators like you, so can't complain. Making money while doing it. Yet it is says, I mostly follow actual play podcasts, NADPod, The Adventure Zone, Worlds Beyond Number. Critical got me into all of it. Ooh, okay. Jonathan says, hello, I'm preparing to run Curse of Strahd. What do you think of module? I've never run it myself, but it is widely and majorly considered like the best adventure of 5e. So I think it's solid. Daniel says, I mentioned it yesterday, but critters may be interested to know that Sirius has Mighty 9 and Bell's Hell's dice sets available for pre-order. There you go. I started watching Dungeon Dudes, and actually Roll With Her is entertaining. The episodes are between half an hour, half in an hour, very gore-coded but funny. Nice. What are you thinking of the Dungeon Dudes one? The Draw Historian on YouTube is a great channel. I've seen that one pop up on my feed. Work from home, the future. Hey, dude, that's what I do. I think after the creation of the bridge, Thaisha doesn't have as much to fear from her grandma as people think. I think that's, yeah, that's a fair speculation. I too love NADPod and Worlds Beyond Number. I'd never listened to either one of those. I've heard of them a ton, right? Like a ton. I've heard of those, but I've never actually tuned in. That is a great question, Steven. My guess is they're going to be dead. And whether or not they eventually can, give life to new fungus things, that's maybe depends on the lore that people are using. D&D Nerd says, no, I think Thaisha might be in more trouble than she realizes because of the Occtis resurrection. Yeah. I thought Curse of Strahd was meh, not nearly all it was hyped up to be. Yeah, I mean, it's not, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not going to be for everyone. Nothing ever is. But it is widely considered to be, like, the go-to, like, the fan favorite thing, so. Daniel says, I have enjoyed Seasons of Silence, but I feel way behind her in the summer. I have 5 or 6 episodes to catch up on now. Oh, wow. Steven says, I love the Dungeon Dudes campaign. Very cute and sweet for now. Druids can't lose their powers, can they? I mean, that's going to depend on your dungeon master. And, like, I mean, there could always be something where somebody tries to get that in their games. Like, I think it's a perfectly reasonable thing for somebody to say that, like, your attunement to nature was lost or something like that. I mean, there's no, like, I don't think there's a mechanic in the game that can do that, but like with anything, a dungeon master certainly can. Yeah, this latest Dungeon Dude season I'm calling Cozy D&D. Really? Okay. I haven't tuned into it. I mean, I've said it before. I've always, like, in some of the stuff I've seen of theirs, I just haven't been able to like, I don't know if it's my vibe, but maybe I need to give it another shot. I've heard a lot of good things about Dungeons and Daddies too, but unfortunately haven't had the time to get around to it. Yeah, that one's been around for quite some time too, and they're doing their Kickstarter. Jay says the new Dungeon Dudes campaign is very humble, wood coated, and cozy, much different than Drakenheim. Some may think it's too slow. Okay. I have the new Dungeon Daddies book coming out. Can't remember. Yeah. Curse hits horror tropes and weird stuff. What more could you want? Druid forgets to recycle and then they lose their power. Exactly. Cut off from nature. I'm very excited for Wood Creek season 2. Sounds like they're amping. Yeah. It's a very unique style. Did anybody else watch the Tales from Wood Creek? That is a very, very unique style of game that brings in a lot of that real world element. Yeah. Wonder how many actual plays the market can carry. Yeah, that's another great question. Is unless this space is growing, there's only but so many before you are kind of competing with one another. Also, the funding isn't necessarily there in the same way because you're not pulling in as much viewers as like maybe an actual TV show would do, because you still have to be interested enough in that. So yeah, I don't know how much more you can really get, to be honest, but I saw an old ad for Dungeons that is sweet. Yeah, they released like 3 of them, Daniel. There's 3 different ads that they did that were like canceled ads or like old school ads and stuff like that. I started Tales from Wood Creek when it first started, but I didn't keep up with it. I want to give it another try. Stephanie loved Wood Creek. Yes, the first season of Wood Creek was fun. I love the puzzles on their Kickstarter page. I started Wood Creek too, but didn't vibe. I didn't really vibe with it either. But again, I think it's because like when you're watching like Critical Role or you're watching Dimension 20 or you're watching Natural 6, which is another one that I really recommend, they're good at voice acting. They're good at acting. Like a lot of them have like at some point trained in acting. Right? Like it feels more natural when they're in character. And then it's like some of the other people, it just feels like, even though I know it's all fake, as in like they're role playing. They're some people just, to me, like I'm not going to say they're not good at it, but it just doesn't feel natural. Right? Like I can see they're trying to do it versus them just being able to do it. And that's some of the vibe that I got from some of that, you know? So I don't know. Jaden says Dungeon Dude Seasons of Silence is really good. That and D&D Dungeon Masters has been great to have during. Yeah, you like Dungeon Masters as well? I'm enjoying it a lot. If you didn't know, I do a watch party of it Wednesday nights. We watch it on the stream. Actually, I was given permission to. I stream the episode on my channel and we watch it together. If you're interested, I normally start my stream about 30 minutes before the episode goes live. So it goes live at 9:30 Eastern. I go live at like 9. We chat a little bit and then I do the dang thing. Let's start the episode and we watch. The D&D IP stuff might bring in fresh blood. Curious how that all pans out. Oh, there's no doubt. I have almost no doubt it will bring in fresh blood. Now, will it bring in fresh blood to actual plays that are strictly fantasy? I don't know. Would it potentially bring in fresh blood? Let's say, especially for Star Wars. World of Warcraft, I'm not as sure about. But if there's an actual play that sparks up, a Star Wars actual play that sparks up around the time or shortly after the Star Wars Universes Beyond, I think that has a chance to be successful. A long-running Star Wars campaign within the canon of the actual Star Wars like lore, I think has potential. I think it does. Tyke Bright says, if you have any interest in a Vampire the Masquerade campaign, Alex Ward's Private Nightmares is excellent. I really enjoy the way they use the physical space. Yeah. His stuff that he's done on the for the spookier stuff, I've heard great things about. I like how Wood Creek got Ginny D this season. Wasn't she somewhat involved last season too? Kind of like Taylor's Tavern and stuff like that. Does anyone remember why Brennan said season 4 was like Lord of the Rings? Right now it feels more like Game of Thrones. If you're talking about campaign 4, he was saying that Ahriman is like a homage to Middle Earth, but from like a different point of view, right? Like the oppressed orcs is kind of like the pendulum that started everything, and like it's just like he's designing the world, having been a huge fan of Tolkien and Middle Earth and all that sort of stuff. Jonathan, yeah, Dr. Caliban, it was good. It was good. I don't think so. Double. Also, I like Seasons of Silence because it feels like a regular table, if that makes sense. Oh, yeah, I've been watching your watch parties. I'm more of a lurker. Oh, okay, no worries. No, that's totally valid. That's one of the reasons I loved the feel of campaign 1 for Critical Role, is that it felt like a regular table, but a regular table of people who could role play exceptionally well and still make it entertaining. Because not every, like, if I was like, hey, I'm going to stream my home game, it's going to look and feel like a regular game, but I don't think it would be that entertaining for people. Now, of course, my moments would be spectacular, but I also have like some players who aren't that talkative. They're not that, like, you know, they're not going to role play a bunch or that, you know, like that sort of thing. So like it's a home game, it's a regular D&D game, but it's not entertaining. Right. So I think you still, if you want to be an actual play, I think you kind of need both. For me, I want that home feel. I would love that, while also having, oh, they're entertaining and they're good at it. Or it just has to be super entertaining. Sorry, hold on. Okay. Brennan didn't say it was like Lord of the Rings, but a love letter to Lord of the Rings, specifically Justice for the. Yeah, exactly. Star Wars actual play be my jam. Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. I think that would have a chance to like hook people and get those people in, for sure. I think Jasmine has become one of my favorite DMs to watch. She's so natural. She's very good. She's very good. I actually messaged her earlier. I met her briefly. Like I got introduced to her through Louise at Gen Con. So met her very briefly, and then I shot her a message today, but I got left on red. So, but hopefully something will come of it, right? She could just be busy and all that stuff. But I was hoping to be able to chat with her. Star Wars actual play would be something I find very easy to skip. Yeah, it's not gonna be for everyone, just like Age of Umbra isn't for everyone, just like Campaign 4 isn't for everyone, right? Like it, but I think that's where they could bring in a new market. Like we were talking about Fresh Blood. I think that's where they could bring people, like a new actual play built around that could get something. Show came out a couple weeks ago. Fun fact: a friend of mine worked on the last Wizard of the Coast Star Wars and was the person who wrote the Sith Creed in. His contribution to oh, that's sick. Heck yeah. Campaign 4 resume in 2 weeks. Yes, real Lagmaster. Yeah, it'll be the 27th. Is Bingo coming back when CR4 comes back? I'm going to assume that Jade wants to keep doing it. Then yeah. You know, I am the vessel through which it is delivered, but it is Jaded's project. Jaded puts it together, and all that. So. I liked playing with you. It was fun. Hey, well, I'm glad. And wait, you were only in the one with the arcane tricksters place, right? Like the puzzles and illusions. Because the other was, I think, more normal D&D, and I think I did a much better job in the other game that I ran. I think I did a much better job in that one. I don't think I've seen a regular home game with more than like 15 viewers. Yeah, most where people just like cut on the camera and like play around the table. They don't get, which is why when people are like, oh, were you gonna do an actual play? And I'm like, the chances of me doing an actual play are so ridiculously small. Because there are people who have like full-on studios. They have amazing storytellers. They have whatever, and they still get absolutely nothing for it. Because they're not coming from being like famous big names. That got like, or the, you know, they didn't get first movers advantage, right? Which is kind of what Critical Role got, and they had the backing of an already established platform. With Geek and Sundry. So like there's a lot of things that gotta go kind of right for you with some of these things. You know what probably has no chance of becoming an actual play, but I love to see a Dark Sun campaign. I think it could. Again, I don't think a major one's going to pick it up, but I could 100% see some group of people deciding to run that kind of game. And I think some people would tune into it if it was done well. Orcs are irredeemably evil in Middle Earth, so I don't understand the whole justice for orcs. Any of those IPs could draw unique crowds and be fun depending on cast. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Star Wars could really do it, though. Like, the Star Wars fandom is much larger than the World of Warcraft fandom. So that's what I'm saying. World of Warcraft, yeah, there's potential for, like, if somebody decided, I'm now going to run an Azeroth thing. Yeah, you might be able to get some WoW fans, but But Star Wars, yeah, I think you could get people into something like that. I've never played a campaign setting. My DM friends are strictly homebrew. I'm not 100% sure. I think when I was playing that game, my first like long-term game, I played every Wednesday from 6 to 9 at a comic book shop when I was a teen. I think that might have been in a campaign setting, but we weren't like, it wasn't a module. But I think it might have been in, Greyhawk or Forgotten Realms. Like, I don't know. But the games I've run have all been homebrew. Dude, that bronze girl has been doing cool stuff in the CRPG space for about as long as Sarah's been around. I remember her playing in AP with the original String to Behind Geek and Sundry. Yeah, no, she's been around for a long time. And killing it. Do you think they'll follow the Seekers first? I don't know, but I would agree with, I think I saw a comment lower down that says, I think they'll want to get a break from the city. And so I think they'll try to go to somebody, a group that's not going to be there. Yo, what's up, Purple Tiger? And we thank them for it. Viva la bingo! Yeah, I think Jade's down for it to keep it going. Jasmine had her own show before it happened too. Yep. Starting with the Seekers makes the most sense. I enjoy the city, but we need to get out of Damakyar for a while. Agreed. How roleplay focused are your paid one-shots? Not very, because they're one-shots. So again, those are the people who are in the first one, the campaign, not the campaign, the first one shot I did, which I did 3 different groups for. That one had role play, but again, it's a one shot. It's only supposed to be about 3 hours long, all that sort of jazz. But there was moments of talking NPCs, chances for players to interact with each other, more NPCs, like there were skills, there were skill challenges, there was, there was combat. But yeah, I don't know. I've personally never heard of one. I'm sure they exist. I've never heard of one shots that were like, oh, the one shot is role play focused and it's 3 hours. But I guess that's a possibility, but that's all technically role playing. Yeah. I assume when somebody asks like that, they mean like how much of it is like just dialogue, like interacting with NPCs and that sort of stuff. I think when I posted it, I put it as like, like 65% combat or something. I don't remember what I said. But yeah. It also depends on the one shot. Guys, am I crazy? I thought I've run 3 different ones, but I can't remember the second one. I know we did the first one, and I know the third one was or was that just the second one? With the, all the puzzles and riddles. I thought I did one between those, but maybe I didn't. Might have just done the 2. So one day, didn't you? Yeah, I did 3 that weekend. I did a Friday at 7 p.m. and then I did a Sunday at noon and a Sunday at 7 p.m. But that was all the same one shot, just 3 times in a weekend. Like 3 different groups. I had 15 players, so 3 groups of 5. Amazing Cleric. Yes. Okay, so I think those are the only two that I've actually done. For some reason, I thought I did another one, but I think it was just those two. It didn't have to call it the weird puzzle one. Yeah. Yo, what's up, WB? Welcome in. Schemers and Convergence all in the city. I guess the Seekers will be first. Yeah, something outside of the city. Look up Hyper RPG. They did a Star Wars AP with YouTube personalities. It's still not a guarantee that the galaxy far, far away is a big enough draw. Yeah, so I agree with that. I think it's just that this is going to have a larger pool, mostly because they're doing Universes Beyond with Star Wars, meaning the Star Wars brand is going to actually be pushing it, which means they'll be able to drive people to it. And those people may be interested in seeing something like that, right? So I understand like the market at the time that Hyper RPG came out may not have supported it. But if there was ever going to be a time for that, it would probably be right after the Star Wars brand is like, yo, we partnered with D&D to make a Star Wars role playing. If you guys want to get in on it, you know, that sort of thing. The last campaign I was in was basically all in character, and frankly, it wore me out. No, I mean the one shots aren't. Yeah, no, and even my my home games, it's not like I'm not in like a heavy role play game or anything like that. And my one shots weren't heavy role play because they're, you know, one shots. There was more role play in the first one. Again, I wanted to try something with the second one. I will stick to doing ones more like the first one if and when I do more. Because everybody seemed to love that one, right? I had 15 players and it felt like everybody had a good time and felt really positively about that. So, and it's tough because I make them, right? I'm not like I didn't find a one shot online. Like I made the one shot. And so you end up coming up with an idea and being like, I wonder if this will work. And then you put it out there and people play it. And then you're like, didn't go, like it didn't feel the way that I wanted it to feel. So then you try something else. But the first one felt good. I really enjoyed the first one. People will buy books and one example is The View. Yep. If Travis shows up with another NPC character, I'm gonna be ticked. A lot of people bring that up when I'm like, I would like to see Travis, you know, be this or that or a member of this. People are like, oh, can't he be the professor? Can't he be the lizard person? And I'm like, I don't know if Travis would come in as like an already existing person that was made before. And I would agree that that wouldn't be my favorite, right? Like I would rather him have created his own character and come up with everything about it versus, oh, here's a character that was already existed in this world that was made by Brennan and now he's like taking it, kind of making it his own. I'd rather him just make his own character. It's actually fair. The brand and Wizard of the Coast have a lot more marketing power than Fantasy Flight. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is like Star Wars is going to be a part of it. Like Universes Beyond with Star Wars means that Lucasfilm or whoever, you know, do Disney is going to be part of it. Just like WoW was part of this, right? Like they had the VP or EP of World of Warcraft there doing interviews. They'll have somebody from Star Wars doing it too. Potentially. Maybe they won't because this was like the inaugural opening for Universes Beyond or whatever, but and so the Star Wars brand will push it. The Star Wars brand is very big. Disney is very big. So I feel like short games, 3 to 5 games is a better format for a one shot with that many players. A one shot. What? Well, no, I had 15 people that showed up, but it was 3 different groups. It was 3 groups of 5. It wasn't 15 people in one game. how long until we get D&D stats for Disney princesses? They're already out there. People have already made D&D stats for like all that stuff. My buddy ran a game for a little bit where we did a bunch of like fairy tale stuff. Like we had to go into the world of Peter Pan, we had to go into the world of Mulan, we had to go in, and he found stat blocks for like all those things online. Like somebody has gone, like somebody out there has made stat blocks for almost anything you can imagine. I meant to put out a video today. Like I have it on my Trello board for a video talking about like the truth about the future of D&D. Because I don't have as much against Universes Beyond, because to me it's no different than the people who go, don't use Mordenkainen's book in my game, or we don't use Xanathar's in my game, or I don't allow that subclass, or I don't allow that spell, or I use this rule for death saves and I use that. You would just go, hey, I don't allow the Star Wars book, or hey, Jedi don't exist in my world, or hey, you can't use that spell from that. But like, right, like it's no different than any other thing that's ever come out that people have said like, hey, I don't allow that in my game. Right? D&D Nerd says, I think Travis will be a member of the Cloak, possibly a monk or druid, and we'll meet Thaisha since she's the only one and gives us time to know his new character. I would love for him to be a member of the Cloak. That's what I talk about in my video. That is what I think and hope will be the Cloak. Monk or druid, yeah, if he's druid, I would expect him to be the Circle of the Moon and just be like animal form, beastie, punching people in the face. I don't see him playing a different kind of druid. Disney princess as a villain be kind of fun in a sillier fairy tale game. Yeah, there. I mean, sometimes it was like that. I don't remember who all we fought. Like when we went to the Peter Pan thing, all the like the kids in Peter Pan world. I don't remember what they're called. They're like the Misfits or something, right? Like the they were like zombies, and we had to like fight Peter Pan and do all that. And yeah. Bringing Jimothy into the Dungeon Masters live show was funny. That was good. That was good. And just like walking it out with a sign was fun. I've been in a princess themed game. We had an Elsa like, and I themed my character after a mix of Sleeping Beauty and Mulan. Nice. Yeah, that's what it Lost Boys. Yes, yes, yes. And they were basically like zombies controlled by Peter Pan, who was like a bad guy. And that was just one of them. The other one, we went to Mulan's thing and we had to like try to get her on the throne because they were all like alternate versions of the stories, right? None of them were the exact stories. It was like somebody was going through and editing the books. So we knew they were fairy tales. Like we knew that they were fairy tales, but when we went into them, they were different than what we knew. And so like we were like, wait, Mulan's supposed to have like gotten this, that, and we go in and like the bad guys won, and the dragon, her little dragon, is actually like attacking us, and like just a bunch of stuff, and we had to like write the stories as best we could and all that sort of stuff. So many actual plays about Barbie, Gotham, etc. Really? Made a blade lock fighter with a fairy godmother patron. Peter Pan is damn. Interesting. Just saying Hook was a great movie. I want Travis to be a mercy monk. They need more healing. Yeah, they don't have much of that. They're pretty light on the healing. I suppose in a world without gods, you lose a lot of that divine healing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you still have the paladins being able to do it, and paladin healing is more viable in 5.5. One, because lay on hands is a bonus action now, so they don't have to give up their turns every time to do it. And of course, healing in general does double what it did. So when they do give up their action to do a cure wounds, it's going to heal for more. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Serpent? I also think on this discussion that I don't really want to have in the chat again, and whatever, is also like, if you can be like, oh, this world has crazy magic and people shooting spells around and bringing this and destroying that and blah 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 and fireballs and shield and whatever, but I can't believe that somebody has like crazy martial hand-to-hand combat ability, then it's like, yeah. Like, we got sentient masks, we got like all sorts of crazy people turning into puffs of smoke and flying through the air, but like we're drawing the line at the fact that this guy's really good at like martial arts. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's again, Dragon. That's kind of my point. Is you can extrapolate it out to anything. Like, oh, this person using their hands and feet or using a staff in martial arts is stupid, but a guy with no armor on swinging big sword is angry, and that's fine, right? Like, I want to see Bolaire's other siblings, the good ones. Because Will, do we know that the other ones are good? Like, I want to know about his other siblings, but I don't know that there's any sort of information that applies or implies that they're good. We just know Termina is dangerous, right? Like, that's really all we know. Termina dangerous. Other than that, no idea. But I agree. I would like to learn more about him. We really just know Termina is crazy. The others may not even have personalities. True. I'm going to guess that they do. I'm going to guess that the other masks are also sentient to a degree. But one of the big things about Bolaire was that he broke away from his purpose and decided to explore his own life. And maybe the others didn't. Maybe so. We have Termina, who's kind of crazy and has that, but maybe he meets another one, and that mask is just like, I've served my purpose. Like, it's the most boring mask because it's just like, I was put here to do this. And my task is complete. I have no need for anything else, right? Like, I could see that. I could see there being the mask that's just like, this is all I am. This is all I was meant for. Nall the Bear says Termina's example of Taliesin using knife theory and Brennan turning it into massive two-handed swords. AKA says, if anyone is interested, I'm off and on again working on an Elder Scrolls conversion for Daggerheart. There are some printable cards for those interested in the Discord. It's very work in progress. Yeah. Go check that out if you guys are interested. Serpent says, how can they be good? Created with a purpose, singed with greed and folly. All bad. Well, created with the purpose of destroying a god that they felt needed to be destroyed. Daniel says, I don't think any of the Phantom Masks are good exactly. There are some that may be less psychotic than others, but they are all weapons. Yeah. Fallen in Diablo. I don't know about a straight tit for tat, but you can always make one. Also, I tried to take advantage of the 80% off of the minis. If you guys didn't see, WizKids was like, hey, 80% off all Critical Role minis, yada, yada, yada. And so I ordered a bunch, and I like 3 or 4 of them have already been, they've canceled the orders and like are refunding because they apparently don't have them or something. Like I feel like they oversold, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. And it didn't happen all at once. It's like I got an email 2-3 days ago about it. I got one today that was like, hey, we're canceling this one. I'm like, what is going on here? Many did you? Well, they were 80% off, dude. I was like, I'm definitely gonna get these. Here, let me see. Do I have? Yeah. I was basically, I think I got this. Like, this is normally $90. The Ember Rock is normally $90. It was $18. It was $18, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna get one of those. I don't know which ones they've canceled, if I'm being honest. Like, this one may still be on the way. I don't know. But a bunch of the stuff got canceled. Because I mostly just went for monsters, right? I was like, anything that I could get that's like a cool looking monster mini, and then I can just you know, come up with a stat block, make it my own sort of thing. For instance, like this mini right here is $6. It's the Wraith Root tree. So this is a large mini for $6 right there. But I also only got painted ones. I had no interest in getting anything I had to paint. I feel like a lot of the ones I bought are gone. Let's see. The last one that got canceled was, they said we're unable to provide blah 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 Critical Role Monsters of Wildmount UDAC premium figure. So let's see what that one is. I bet that's one of the cool ones. Yep. That was this guy right here. Dang, that one would have been dope. So I'm not getting this one anymore. Kind of a bummer. So I don't know if I'm still getting these guys, but I also was getting this one right here. Like, that's pretty sick. Right? Like, that's a sick mini. And that was, so now it's showing us sold out, but hopefully I still got one of those, because I don't know which other ones they canceled on me. And then this one here is the other one I got. So I was just going for like crazy, like large and huge monsters, because they were 80% off from Critical Role, but I don't know which ones I'm still actually getting. Oh, it looks like the Ember Rock, Oban the Punished, and Kree Vessel of the Pattern, which are the ones that I've shown you. Those three are still going to come through unless they also somehow get knocked off. It looks like. Yeah, he's been going Sorcerer. Nuru TV, thank you for the follow on TikTok. All right, let me scroll up. I don't know if Sean Mo on TikTok is still here that says, I don't trust Hasbro BG4 at all. Divinity 3 needs to be GOAT. If not, nothing is forever. But is God really dead? That's the main question. They've led us to believe that they are. Because Terminator was like, I know they are. Also, just kidding. Yeah, exactly. I did email them, though, about a potential collaboration if they'll send me some stuff. Because one of the guys I stayed at Gen Con with, he messaged him and was like, hey, I'll show off your stuff. And they were like, yeah, we'll send you. And they sent him like a freaking ancient red dragon mini, like the freaking ancient. And I'm like, Dogson, yes, please. So I shot them an email because I was like, yes, please. I love when uninformed people comment on my videos. Was came for the new class video. I'm so excited. Heck yeah. Are you familiar with Scion at all? My DM who did the Princess game also did a Warframe-ish game based on D&D 4. It was interesting. Did you see my post about Mighty Nine winning an Emmy? Yes, I saw that that was the case. I think the mask's personalities are going to be amplifications of what their specific characters in the play were. Terminator was crazy because her mask was broken. But it wasn't broken at the time, I don't think, because it was described as like it was surprising that it was cracked. So I don't think it was like that initially when he had last seen it, right? We want Azune to behave more like Vale, and he comes off as a sorcerer with a warhammer. He is a sorcerer with a warhammer. Yeah, so that's where Dragon Drake had, because I'm catching up, had said is one pally for sorcerer. Yeah, he is basically that. Which is good because they already had two pallies. Well, they don't anymore, but they had two straight pallies. Stay too long. I want to pop in and say hi. Hello, Baxter. Thanks for popping in. Didn't play the version. Okay, yeah. It is different. It is very different. One of our WizKids is selling the minis for cheap that we're here for years. Yeah, people are saying maybe their agreement is no longer taking place. And I think there was another comment about the fact that they've even canceled sets that were supposed to come out because I'm not sure they sold as well as people had hoped. Which kind of makes sense because like you're selling the minis for CR, but like if you're not running like the CR thing, they'd have, you have to like find a reason to use them or a way, right? A lot of those box sets are like NPCs from Exandria, and so like, If people are using them more for collector's items over like actual use, you're probably selling less of them. I want to find out more about Navikan. Has Luis told you anything about where he came up with his ideas for this language? Is it based on... I think he actually has told me something like that, but I don't remember. I don't know if he told me like what it was based on or something, but I feel like it came up. Like he mentioned kind of where the idea or what it was based on, but I actually don't recall. I was thinking about asking him if he wants to come on the pre-show next week as like a prep for the return the week after. So I might shoot him a message tomorrow and just be like, hey, big ask. And so he may say no. He may be busy, but to be like, I'm going to run something, the normal pre-show next Thursday. It'd be cool to have you for like a Q&A or something like that. Got a Dragon Blood Sorcerer in my regular Friday night game. She plays very different from Azune. He's tanky. She's an acid nuke who melts everything. What would be, what's up, Jeff? What would be Azune's oath if he continued in Paladin? You can't start as an Oathbreaker, can you? I don't know if, like, mechanically you're not allowed. I think narratively it doesn't make as much sense, but mechanically maybe you still can. I actually don't know that. But I'm not sure. What do people think his oath would be? If he ended up getting up to level 3 and took a subclass in it, what do you think his oath would be? First opened it. Yeah, I know, but it wasn't... in the play, it wasn't a broken mask, though. Right? Like, when he saw her last... During the play, the mask wasn't broken, I believe. Devotion to be devoted to the cause, or maybe he just wants 2 levels to smite. Granted, campaign 4 is a campaign in which out-of-combat skills are very important, so different spell choices make a lot more sense. I wouldn't be surprised to see some rare utility spells get used. I love that. I've said this before, it's one of the reasons I love playing with new D&D players, is they pull out stuff that nobody else does. Right? Like, they'll use spells that aren't very good because they're like, that sounds cool, or that fits my character. So I love that. I love when people use different spells and, like, out of the box thinking and all that jazz. I'm not sure Azune could abide by let your word be your promise for devotion, given how much he has to lie. Valid concern. Azune's current oath would be defending Demacia and its people. Do we think he would break that? It seems unlikely. Yeah, no, I think as of what we know about him right now, it feels like he's pretty committed to helping the city and all that. My first thoughts were Glory, but Teor was one, and Vengeance, but Vaelus is one. That's all right, and Teor is dead. I think the mask was only slightly broken out to severity as it is now, unless I'm misremembering. I thought it wasn't broken during the play. Again, I understand it was broken during, like, the mask, or the, when the mask got open and all that sort of stuff. And when they found it in the coffin, yeah. Season 4 out again. No, Amon, it is in 2 weeks on the 27th. Campaign 4 returns. Tonight is the finale of Age of Umbra. The finale of Age of Umbra is tonight. And then they take a week off next week. And then there's that. Yeah, I could see a chapter 1 recap video next week. 100%. So crazy, it's still good. Yeah, I will shoot an ask. I don't know if it'll happen, but I will at least shoot the ask. And hopefully I get a confirmation every week because it's something I would want to advertise. Spammers Dimmy. Who is it, Ophidian? Tell me who it is. I will ban them. Dude, it's wild how often that happens. Like if you go to the welcome channel, almost all the people that joined for the last like 3 days, I've banned them. I like Shadcraft banned as soon as they joined. Athrilio banned as soon as they joined. Vincent died banned as soon as they joined. Mizorian banned as soon as they joined. Right, like because they're names that I recognize, like Mezio, Mezer, whatever. It's the same. Like they just have 100 accounts. The Vincent died. The Daichi, 100 different accounts. On DSO server mother. Oh, I thought you meant from mine. I ban 10 to 15 people a week that have joined my server to spam for art. And I'm pretty sure there's 2 or 3 that I'm not 100% on, so I haven't gotten rid of them, but I'm pretty positive they are. Zurin Voidclaw, I think is gonna message somebody trying to sell art. I banned somebody earlier today. Because they post it, and it's crazy. They all use the same thing. Emergency commissions are open because I'm struggling, yada yada yada. It's like all of them use the same line. Yeah. Geek Gamer, I'm hoping is not one. Mostly because they have an actual name on there, and most of the time, like their names are something, and they have an anime picture. So. Pre-show lately. Yeah. The Discord just gets flooded with them. Like I am almost every day I'm banning people from my Discord. Some of them they don't even last. Like I get the notification that they joined, I see the account name, I open Discord and ban like immediately. Like they join the server, they're banned from the server. But then there'll just be another one. If you guys ever get one from somebody in my server, if you get a message, tell me. You can message it to me. You can just ping me in the Discord, and I will just ban them from the server because I don't want them messaging people. But I don't know how else to keep them out of the thing, because sometimes they just post in like a channel and say, hey, I'm looking for commissions, and I ban them. But sometimes they just start messaging people in the Discord, trying to spark up conversation. Right, they're like, hi, and then you go, hello, ? And they're like, how are you? And then and eventually they're just like, I'm an artist, and that's when you know, like, ban. But yeah, just tell me or ping me or whatever, and I'll get rid of them. Also, what's up, Carnage? Mutual server. Yeah, exactly. So they can message people. So there's a couple that I would like to keep my eye on in there, but hey guys, Nerdcore has an emergency. He needs us all to like this stream. Very true. If you have not already given the stream a thumbs up, please do that. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing to the channel so you can support the channel as well as get more of me in your algorithm. If you'd like to support me continuing to do this full time, consider becoming a member here on YouTube. It's $5 a month, and you will get ad-free viewing throughout the pre-shows and everything else that I do. So definitely consider doing that. $5 a month. You can also subscribe to the Patreon, linked down below. Some goodies over there that you can get your hands on. Or buy some merch. We got Nerdcore merch. down below as well. So feel free. Super chats are also a great way to do that. JD, thanks for subscribing to the channel. Let's go. That's why I don't talk to him. Well, yeah, if you get a message from somebody on Discord that isn't somebody you know, right? If it's not like I message you or like somebody from here messages you, and they like randomly joined my server, they're probably trying to sell you something. And yeah, definitely feel free to drop into the Discord. I do have a Critical Role channel and an Age of Umbra channel. So if you want to talk Age of Umbra during the episode or after, there's a channel for that. So definitely feel free to jump in there and be part of the Discord. DSR Discord ended up restricting all new accounts to only the welcome channel until they get approved to see other channels, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to manually approve everyone. Yeah, but so how do you approve them? Like, what proof do you do? Just look and go, oh, that's probably an account that's doing it, or how do you verify it? Because I could do that, but I normally, again, most of the time, it's the same, like, 3 people. They're just bot farming. They all have Mezzi or Mezzio, some sort of that in their name, or they have Daichi, D-A-I, in their name somewhere, or right? It's just like they're just repetitive. They're all made in the year 2019. It's just a bot farm. Talk to them in channel. Yeah, as you can, sometimes I respond in mine and go, hey, welcome in, or what brought you in? And they never respond. And that is also normally a telltale sign. Also, did I tell you that me and DSR, I don't know, I haven't seen, because I've kind of checked to see if they've done an ad for this company, but I have an ad coming up for a company for some minis. I'll show you guys real quick. Hold on. The minis are actually pretty dope. And this is not a sponsored thing. Where's Pyrity? Yeah, where is Pyrity? Peter says, do you think Ashley Johnson's current character will give us more drama? It's an awesome character, entrance drama. Her introduction in episode 1 was that, but do you think it will evolve? I think right now it's gone backwards. Other people feel differently, but I think most people do hope that something else will come of it and she'll get more involved or whatever. It also came with this cool little letter with like a wax seal and stuff. But I got like an Elven set of minis, which came in like this dope box and all that jazz. But the minis are actually pretty sick. Like, they're well done. The bases, like, none of the bases are plain. Like, they all have stuff on them. So, let's see. It's not, like, glued to the base or anything yet, but... like, the detail is solid. It's not, like... there are some other ones, like, people who sell, and they're selling, like, you know, 3D printed minis or whatever, and there's no detail. Everything's, like, flat and plain. And... that is not the case with these. There's a lot of small details with it that I like. So side of the convergence. Yeah, I hope so. So instead of showing it together, like here's a base for this one. It's got a nice little log on it. But this guy's dope. Like this archer. Hopefully you guys will be able to get the good detail on that. I mean, like all the separation in the arrows, like come on. Like literally all the separation in the arrows. The individual stems, like I think like this archer mini is like, I literally think this is one of the coolest ones. It's an action shot. He's pulling back the bow. This thing is dope. Once I actually get the thing going, there is going to be a discount code and all that sort of jazz for people to use. But yeah, these things are super cool. Real big fan of these. They have a bunch of different ones. This is just a set that I could get, and I think they also sell some painted, but I didn't end up with any of those. I know there's a centaur in one of these. Oh, there he is. I would also, I always love a good dwarf character, so I'm for that. Oh, this one actually has the spots where the feet can go. But like, bruh, come on, hold on. I'm gonna take out the base so I can show it better. Like, look at that detail on the freaking like back and the side and all that sort of stuff. Like, the shield on the arm. Yeah, so the idea for so I'm going to do an Instagram reel just talking about the minis and saying like, hey, I'm going to paint one of these. The video idea, it isn't going to be like a section in a video. It's actually going to be a video where I make a character based off of one of these minis. How do they feel? They feel fine. Like, it feels solid. Again, they all come with custom bases as well, which I like. Like, all of them have different bases and stuff like that. Charter a cruise ship and see how big. Really? Do you think that that would be enough? Like, what do you like? How would it work? Like, what's your image of that, Peter? Like, just one show that night, like, or one show during the whole thing, or like, how would it work? This guy's kind of big. He's got a cool like tree face with a beard, a feather on his shield. Also, what's up, Holly? Yeah, they're good minis. Like, I like legit. They're good minis. I am of course concerned that I'm doing a whole video for it because I don't know how it will perform. But I'm going to do it anyway. And there's more. I mean, I'm not going to put you guys through me showing you all of them. But there are more minis in here. Actually, that might be all of them. I thought there was one more. No, that might be all of them. I might have showed you guys all of them. But they're legitimately like quality. They're like the look, the design, the weight. I was pleasantly surprised when they were like, "Hey, we'll send you, you know, the stuff." And again, if anybody ends up being interested, there will be a discount code and all that sort of stuff as well. So. See, for next week, or are they taking the week off? They take the week off, Mobius. We'll get it the week after. The 27th. Throughout a 4-day voyage, I think it would be cool. I'm sure they would do well. Yeah, there'd probably be enough people to do something like that. Not like the biggest ship ever, but you know, Blade Singers. That's true. I like if he was to do a caster or something like that. That's probably where it would end up as a Blade Singer, or maybe he just shocks us all, and he goes just like a regular old spellcaster. You know, he's just a regular wizard or something. or a frickin' bard. He surprises us all with that. But blade singers are pretty wild. The guy, a player in my wizard in my game at home is blade singer. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, I posted a video on TikTok and Instagram saying this, but you can get the Age of Umbra campaign frame for free on Beacon right now, and you can get Beacon for free for a month right now with a code. Einfaz and the Sorcerer with a huge hammer would be awesome. Cruise ship, D&D, like my worst nightmare. I get seasick, so I feel you on that. The idea of being on a cruise, like a big boat, bunch of stuff to do, hanging out, like that doesn't seem terrible. But also being stuck on a boat with a bunch of people and also, get somebody who gets motion sick, not ideal. Not ideal. And sharing how to get one free. Yeah, if anybody needs the code, let me know for the one free month. They sent it out, but I have it up in front of me so I can tell people what it is if they need it. There's also a code I put in the Discord. If you already are a Beacon subscriber, but you're month to month, if you swap to an annual sub, you'll get 20% off. So you'll save a couple bucks across the year. I also think so. I feel like you guys are all leaving like fighters off the table, but there's so much diversity in fighters that he could be a fighter. It's an easy plug and play. So I wouldn't like completely rule out him being a fighter because he hasn't really been one of those. My brother's character in my home game is a ranger. He's a Hollow Warden ranger. He did his first transformation because they hit level 3 the session before this one. So he had his first transformation in this last game where he became more monster-like. College of Dance Bard would be funny. True. And absolutely, Peter, always feel free to share. I mean, it was an interesting thought. I think I'm monthly on Beacon now. Yeah, so that thing, if you decide you're like, hey, I'm committed to it for the year, you get 20% off. College of Preaching, a bard class, access to cleric spells like Divine Sorcerer. College of Preaching, interesting. You gonna make that one up, Unknown Valor? Also, welcome in. I've never ruled out fighter. It's just not really my optimal pick. Fair. It's not interesting. It's just like, oh, fighter, bet. To be fair, there are interesting fighter subclasses, right? Like there are so many fighter subclasses. They're very interesting ones. So, like if he went like Rune Knight, he could do some cool stuff with that. He could go big. He could take away crits. He could, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fun stuff with that. Yeah, AK just said Einfaz and Rune Knight. Again, I don't want him to be from a Sundered House, but Mage for him would be a good stretch. Yeah, it would catch us off guard. Hollow Ranger is the most exciting one for me. Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people said like the idea he could be a barbarian again, but the other part is like, will Travis ever play a barbarian again, knowing that Grog is one of the most like beloved characters in all of Critical Role? You know, like, will he ever try to do that again? He wouldn't play the same type. I don't think he would be another Grog type of barbarian. Maybe he'd be a more like unruly, like less silly, like less play dumb, you know? Yeah, best class feature being tax exempt. Yeah, everything's for the church. You don't have to do it. I would just like to say here and now, guys, and you know, this isn't anything that we'll probably ever talk about again, but I think it should be taxed. I think churches should be taxed. All right. Rune Knight could be an Einfausen, maybe. I don't want Einfausens. Like, I'd love to see an archery-based fighter. Yeah, I'm down for that too. I thoroughly enjoy range characters like that. The World Tree one. Zara C says, World Tree is what? So it's so fun. You guys are literally just naming things my current players are playing. So the Hollow Warden, the Blade Singer, and then the Barbarian in my home game is literally playing a World Tree Barbarian. And they're pretty interesting. And they have some really wild abilities that are like, they don't scales, but like at low levels, they're really good. Like, I think it's like every turn they can give 2d6 temporary hit points to somebody within 10 feet of them. 2d6 temps every turn. 12 temps every turn possible is insane. Especially at lower levels, right? I mean, you're just negating a whole attack at lower levels. Fighter rogue mix as utility and strategy type fighter. Is a pretty gunslinger fighter. He's my favorite character ever. Being of Einfausen lineage doesn't necessarily mean he's from the house, but just giant lineage. Yeah, I don't want it. I simply agree with you, nerd. Thank you. Or monk idea. I mean, if he can be a Minotaur, yeah, why not? That'd be cool. Twilight Cleric says, hold my beer, noob. I'm gonna play one next. I'm excited. Yeah, it seems cool. Very cool. It's tough because the game that I run, we're playing 5.5e. The game that I play in, they're still running 5e, just straight from that. So there are all these new things and other things I want to try and I'm interested in, but like we don't run it. So has to be a full support cleric. Rest in peace. Mess with the bull and you get the horns. Lupin monk seems like it would be good. Yeah, lupins, because their unarmed strikes can be like slashing or whatever. I always wanted to be a battle master with a heavy crossbow that can go close range, like SWAT clearing a house with a shotgun. That's actually a pretty cool idea. It is actually kind of neat. Lupin monk is something I want to play as. Yeah, that's what I saw all the time when that was revealed. Everybody was like, yeah, this is a monk species. Banneret Knight. I think that they're cool in theory, but everybody pointed out that apparently all their abilities are super limited. I guess the design wasn't amazing. So I think thematically and the abilities as described are really cool, but apparently, again, I didn't deep dive into it, but from what people were saying, it's like all their stuff is like once per long rest or something. And they're like cool abilities, but they're so limited that like you don't really get to do the cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun in its own ways, but it'd be interesting to go around without a weapon at all. I played when I first joined the Saturday game I play in, I jumped in as a light cleric, I believe it was. Jeff says a rune knight. I actually like him being a halfling. I just want to see a giant halfling fighting. Jeff says I'd like to play a warlock barbarian who's a demon hunter berserker. Imagine if Travis went Echo Knight, the subclass we all thought Julien would be. I know. That's one of the things of this campaign that I was so certain of and was wrong about. I mean, to be fair, everything was pointing towards him being that, and then we just got freaking knocked off. Our all dwarfs game had a rune knight. Imagine this gem of the old dwarf going full giant in a bid to die in a blaze of glory. I love dwarves. I'm a huge dwarf fan. So this is more animalistic characters. I'd love to see that. I wonder if they exist in this world, though. Right? I don't know how strict this world is, like how strict Brennan would really be, but yeah. What about small dwarves? I mean, whenever I play dwarves, I played, I grew up 3.5 playing a dwarf, and dwarf and other things. So yeah, I don't have them as like 5 foot, 12 giants. I have them as dwarves. They're smaller. All my dwarves are Scottish. Yeah. Like if I'm voicing a dwarf, it's probably Scottish. And a lot of my barkeeps happen to be dwarves. They're Scottish. We all have tropes we fall into, and that is mine. Oh, a huge dwarf. Oh, I get it. I get it. Oh, I mean, I'm not saying I'm good at a Scottish accent, but that's how I try to do the dwarfs. Do you do a voice for yours, Jay, or is it just you're just the character? It's been, so maybe not. Yeah, it might be. If you want a bad French accent, I'm your girl. Hear it that way. Yeah, I mean, I don't think like I'm not an expert in voice acting or doing accents or anything like that, and I wish I was, but I think like when I'm doing the voice that that I'm supposed to be like a Scottish dwarf. Like I think it's obvious enough that you're like, oh, okay, I know what he's going for. All of my characters sound exactly like me. That's my trope. Fair. Sound more anxious. Fair. I want Travis to play a Moon Druid. Possibly if he turns to a Baron, summons lightning. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I think if he went Druid, it would be Circle of the Moon. And there's a lot of again, people think everything sucks now and everything got worse because they don't look whole picture. And we kind of talked about that in a previous thing. But you have a lot more freedom with that. You know, you can cast spells in your animal form. You can maintain concentration. You can talk. You right, like there's a lot of that you can do. So you can swap into a freaking bear and swat at people, but also be able to like moonbeam. You know, so that's pretty neat. I could see something like that, and I think that would be fitting where he gets to like transform again, right, and become some sort of beast. Try for a voice. Yeah, I mean, it like in the Saturday game I plan, nobody there does a voice. You know, they barely talk. To be fair, like it's a super combat heavy game. Um, but yeah, I've been in plenty of games where nobody is like acting as their character, like they're being their character, but they're not acting like a character. It's totally as long as everybody's having fun. I feel like a lot of people now explain or expect or think that people are going to expect them to like show up and be like a freaking voice actor or an improv genius, and it's like that's most games are not like that. Somebody needs to avenge my man since Valence did nothing. Maybe a big mushroom guy. They would have to like create a whole thing for that, I think, and I don't know how much he wants to do that. A few people of Critical Role have DM. 2 out of the cast has not. And who would you think would be neat or entertaining to see? I'm trying to think of who I know have DM'd. Travis, Liam, Sam, Matt. I don't know if Taliesin has. I don't think Ashley has. I don't think Laura has. I don't think Marisha has. Um, I think Marisha could be really interesting. DMing. Has DMing for a game? Oh, okay. Actually did one shot. All right. Yeah, I didn't know that. They barely talk, love it. Yeah, no, seriously. Again, this is the game where sometimes we walk in and there's like an enemy and there's a chance for dialogue and I go to talk and then one of the players rolls and just goes, I got a 14 initiative. And it's just like, don't care. Like they're just like, we're here to kill, we're here to fight, we're not here to talk. Like one of the players literally falls asleep if they're like if we're having like if I'm talking, like if there's like role play, like if I'm like trying to engage with an NPC, he has fallen asleep. Really like the guy, but he's not there for anything other than and fighting stuff and getting loot. Well, we are past the normal time we end. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, click that sub button. Make sure to like the video, all that sort of jazz. I joined the Discord if you haven't already. If you want to talk about Critical Role and Age of Umbra, there are channels for that. There's a live chat for Age of Umbra that people engage in during the episode. I'm going to ask Louise if he'd like to come on for like a Q&A or hang out for next week's pre-show, since it's an off week. I will ask maybe tomorrow, and if he says yes, I will kind of advertise it over the weekend and into next week to build up some hype for it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop out of here, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Like I said, we'll see you next time. We will be doing a stream next week as well, assuming nothing crazy happens or changes. So hopefully I will see you guys then. Thanks for hanging out, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your night.